Good day. My name is Ana Maria Yumiseva, and I am the Director of Frecuencia Latinoamérica. Welcome to the product launch event. QR code is the game-changer technology for financial institutions. Before we get the program started today, I want to encourage all attendees to take advantage of the networking and learning opportunities available to us during this event. The platform Swap Card, which we're using today, allows you to connect with YZC executives and other attendees, download all the documentation that is available at the YZC booth, consume all the content and resources, and most importantly, connect with YZC executives as well as our amazing speakers and attendees directly. During a time when making connections is a challenge, this is an excellent opportunity to touch base with the ecosystem and also learn about the new industry developments. I encourage you all to take advantage of this opportunity, make appointments, and network with all attendees. Without further ado, I want to introduce our host, YZC. YZC is a global digital banking and payment builder. The company explores the development and applications for digital banks and payment technology service in a worldwide scope, and bases these efforts on smart financial terminals and payment services. Their new product, P3QT, is an all-in-one smart terminal that is compliant with financial security standards and supports a variety of payment methods. Whether the customer uses a mobile wallet with QR code or a magnetic card or an IC card or NFC payments, all payments can be accepted by one QT. All this technology is packed into a sleek device almost the size of an iPhone. No wonder its slogan is, "Looks cute, all in one QT." Next, I would like to invite you to watch a video featuring Mr. Yang Li, founder and CEO of YZC.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yan Li, CEO of YZC. Due to the pandemic, we can only hold this new product launch event online. Although we cannot communicate with you in person, we still can share our latest products with global partners through video conference. The impact of COVID-19 on the global economy is severe and affecting the entire business world. Payment industry is forced to change to reflect the new consumer spending trend. There are several factors that influence how people choose payment methods, which include economic conditions, political, legal, and technical infrastructures, as well as language and culture. Therefore, payment industry has to evolve with the change of time. In recent years, a clear trend is forming in the global markets, where mobile wallets are rapidly gaining popularity across the world. Let's look at a set of data first. This is the mobile wallet usage rate at point of sales across the globe. In 2019, the mobile wallet usage rate was about 6% in North America, which was twice as much as in 2018. In Asia Pacific, the usage rate grew from 27% to 35.9%, making it the most popular payment method in the region. And this rate is still growing rapidly. The mobile wallet usage rate was only 2.4 in Latin America, compared to 4.4 across Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So, what is the outlook in the next 3 years? By 2023, the mobile wallet usage rate will rise to 5.3% in Latin America and to 9.4% across EMEA, both of which will be more than double the growth. The rate will reach over 10% in North America and over 45% in Asia Pacific, which is over 2.5 times more than cash payment rates. The outbreak of COVID-19 just accelerates the process of development of mobile payment and cashless payment. During the pandemic, it is clear that more consumers choose to use mobile payments. Let's look at another set of mobile wallet data during the pandemic. Here is the turnover of mobile wallet transactions in US, UK, and Brazil before and after COVID-19 outbreak. Before the outbreak, the US domestic mobile wallet trade volume was expected to reach $116 billion. However, the public health crisis caused the forecast to increase by 200% to $357.5 billion. Estimates for Brazil and Britain are also reported to grow rapidly. Let's look at a set of global data from the next few years. We can see that before the outbreak, the turnover of a mobile wallet worldwide has been forecast at a steady growth in the next 4 years, while much sharper growth trend can be seen clearly after outbreak. In 2020, the mobile wallet market turnover is expected to reach $1,470 billion, which is an increase of 38.5% compared to 2019. The number will continue to grow fast through 2023, and the market for mobile wallets will reach the level of $3.4 trillion. And in 2024, it is possible to reach a staggering $4.1 trillion, with 1.7 billion people expect to use mobile wallet worldwide. Now, a payment terminal that can only support bank card payment is not enough. It must support mobile wallet as well. In the future, an all-in-one terminal that is compliant with financial security standards and supports a variety of payment methods will become the market choice. This is our new product, W-POS-QT, looks cute, all-in-one QT. Whether the customer uses a mobile wallet with QR code, or a magnet card, or an IC card, or NFC payment, all payments can be accepted by one QT. Next, I would like to invite you to watch a video clip.
Payment is everywhere in our daily life. No matter whether it's QR code payment, NFC payment, code scanning payment, or bank card payment. All payments in one QT. W-POS QT. Make your payment more convenient.
This short video highlights how W-POS QT can meet different payment method demands in a variety of scenarios. W-POS QT realizes all payments in one QT. In a clear departure from the traditional M-POS and mobile phone solution, W-POS QT integrates 4G communications, computing chips, security chips, and various sensors in one device. W-POS QT can be used independently without help of a mobile phone or any other terminal, which can be set to be all function in one QT. Besides payment, W-POS QT can be used in many industries and different scenarios. Here's a convenience store in India. The merchant used W-POS-QT as bank's mini ATM, provide cash withdrawal and deposit service.
Hello, sir. How can I help you?
May I deposit 5,000 rupees in my bank account?
Sure. Please give me your bank card.
Okay.
Please enter your password.
Okay.
Your money has been deposited into your bank account. Is there anything else I can help you with?
That's all. Thank you very much.
Here's your bank card. You're welcome and have a nice day, sir.
Have a nice day. You see, cash deposit can be as simple as that. And here is a coffee shop in Africa. The merchant used W-POS-QT, provides cell phone credit top-up service.
Good morning, sir. How may I help you?
May I have a cup of Americano?
Sure.
And before that, would you please top up for my cell phone?
What's the cell phone number?
8419099999.
And how much would you like to top up?
100, please.
Please, can I have your bank card? Your password, please. Your phone credit has been added and your coffee will be served soon.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
You see, when I go to coffee shop, I'm not only buy a cup of coffee, and also to do my cell phone credit top up. And here is a bar in Russia, and waitress use W-POS-QT to taking orders. Hello?
Hello, what can I get you, sir?
Anything special?
Vodka is our specialty.
Okay, thank you. May I have a glass of absolute vodka
Okay.
and a piece of salad?
Okay, your order will be served
Thank
soon.
you.
Welcome.
W-POS-QT be used in 3 different business scenarios, from money collection to credit top-up for cell phone, and also taking orders. It can be said that W-POS-QT is all business in one QT, all payments in one QT, all functions in one QT, and all business in one QT. This is W-POS-QT. Looks cute, and all in one QT. With abilities to run powerful functions and wide application scenarios, I believe the reliability of the W-POS-QT is most concerned by everyone. As a business terminal, the best proof of its excellence is quality. Every piece of a product from Wiseasy has passed extreme and rigorous quality control tests. Wiseasy promises to make every piece of our product stable and reliable. W-POS-QT has gone through a series of reliability tests, including 100,000 keystrokes live test, 1,000 soft voltage test, 60 centigrade high temperature storage for 48 hours, 5,000 charging seat plug-in tests, 5,000 micro drop tests at 10 cm height, and electrostatic tests. In addition to being stable and reliable, payment terminals must be compliant with financial security standards. W-POS-QT has passed PCI security certification and many global and local payment certification, including PayPass, PayWave, Discover, EMV Level 1, Level 2, TQM, American Express, Pure, JCB, MIR. At the same time, W-POS-QT has passed the CE, GSMA, and other electronic products tests, as well as obtain different telecom certificates. WPOS QT can be customized from piano black, emerald green, ivory white, and other colors of your choice. A good terminal is more than just excellent hardware. It is a complete system. We provided WPOS QT users with Wise Cloud Terminal Management Platform, Wise Cashier application, and other software and cloud services to make it easier for our partner to maintain the devices and more convenient for merchant to use. Wise Cloud is a terminal management platform developed by WiseEasy. It provides services such as remote terminal control, maintenance, support, and operation. It saves time and manpower, as well as greatly improves efficiency by avoiding partners and customers having to maintain terminals on-site. Let's have an in-depth look of Wise Cloud capabilities. In device data tracking function, we can track essential device information, such as power level, network signal situation, geographical position, online and in real time. These features offer great convenience to banks and acquirers to manage their business attending. The operation assistant function of Wise Cloud can help diagnose faults, download log records for remote analysis. Support technicians can provide services in real time and remote on-screen troubleshoot for device with users. Wise Cloud KMS function support remote key injection. Encrypted keys or data from banks or third parties can be imported into Wise Cloud KMS backend. Then from KMS backend, encrypted keys can be sent to production key server in real time and then be injected to terminals in bulk on different production lines. After the successful injection, the terminal ID will be forwarded to production key server and uploaded to injection confirmation to backend of KMS, while local copy of key will be deleted at the same time. Wise Cloud KMS functions not only support HSM system for different banks, they also support multi-encryption systems, including MK, SK, and DUKPT. Besides managing and supporting terminals on the cloud, we also provide a standard cash register application, Wise Cashier, with WiseEasy latest transaction SDK, SDK5 embedded. Wise Cashier application is shipped with 3 business modules that process bank card transactions, mobile payment transactions, and third-party transactions, together with dozens of operational functions. It covers nearly all cash register scenarios. For bank card payment, Wise Cashier is compliant with a variety of acquiring agency solutions, such as ACI, Porcelain, HPS, Power Card, OpenWay4, NAPS, and supports payment, pre-authorization, and other transaction types. We have integrated Wise Cashier with widely used wallet solutions such as MasterPass, Gcash Wallet, Alipay, WeChat Pay, UnionPay, and so on. To meet rapidly growing demands of mobile payment, we will provide mobile wallet integration technical support for our partners and customers. In third-party business module, Wise Cashier can also support utility payments, mobile phone credit top-up, game points distribution, and other value-added services to expand the usage in more scenarios. One of the most important capabilities of Wise Cashier is its strict compliance to the EMV Level 3 standards. WiseAsy can also provide technical support to help customers obtain relevant certification in their region. WPOS QT, the new smart POS terminal, Wise Cloud, a cloud-based terminal management system, and Wise Cashier, an EMV Level 3 standard payment application. In addition to what we have introduced to you, we have another exciting new product, Wise Adapter, a universal bank payment protocol gateway. It will help our partners and customers integrate their cash register application easier and faster with the bank payment system. Wise Adapter is a gateway that is compatible with different transaction protocols between banks. In the past, when accessing to a bank's payment services, the bank's cash register transaction protocol must be integrated individually. With Wise Adapter, our customers can automatically adapt the transaction protocols of banks or switches that have integrated with Wise Adapter. That means customers can connect multiple banks at one time. I'm sure this will greatly save the customer's development efforts, time, and cost by simply configuring the parameters for quick deployment. Today, we bring you not only WPOS QT, the new smart POS terminal, but also a complete and a targeted solution for cashless and mobile payments. WPOS QT has been on trial in several countries in recent months. Now, we'd like to connect to our friendly users in Mexico, South Africa, and Lesotho for their comments and feedbacks. Let's first talk to Ama. He's from Lesotho. Hello, Ama.
Hello, Mr. Lee.
We are at WiseAsy new product launch event. I'm very pleased to have you connect in this way. And as the first tester and users of WPOS QT, would you please share some comments or feedbacks for this product?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Lee. It was really great using your product. And we must admit, the product has resolved lots of practical problems. The size, compactness of the product, the transaction cost for each of these product acquired by those machines been quite low. So compactness and then the affordability has definitely been addressed by this product. Also, we are waiting and watching how our market accepts this product. But initial feedback says definitely they are loving it. Specifically, the industry, transport industry, where the taxi drivers are using it because of the compactness. They are appreciating this device. It does give us all the features, all the cards, MasterCard, Visa card, even mobile money can be taken thanks to the QR codes also. Even the contactless cards, we can accept the payments. So now with this post-pandemic, corona pandemic, the new normal, definitely we are expecting a spurt or bigger growth in the merchant acquisition. Our ecosystems has to have all the coverage. All the industries should start accepting the digital payments, and that's where we see this product is really going to help us leading the industry.
Okay, thank you, Ama. Thank you for your feedback and support. We will do our effort to provide more innovative products for our partners. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Thank you, and all the best.
Now we are going to connect Ricardo. He is from MITAC in Mexico. Hello, Ricardo.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. We are in YCC new product launch event for WPOS-QT. I'm very pleased to connect with you online. And would you please share some comments on our new products?
Yes, of course. As you said, my name is Ricardo. I'm from MyTech. It's a Mexican company, and I'm very happy to start the test with this new device. I have been a partner from YCC since 3 years ago. I'm very happy to use this device for the first time. I appreciate that the SDK is the same for the QT and the other models that I have. It's very useful, and I have no efforts to certify with the new devices now. I think it will be very good sales because the device it is a pocket size. I think it's very light. So for the commercial guys that are on the go, it is a very useful device.
Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you for your support and your feedback. I think we will have a good partnership and a good sales in Mexico. Thank you.
Thank you, too. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Okay, finally, we will ask our partner from AdPay in South Africa. Let me connect to Josh. Hello, Josh.
Hello, Mr. Lee.
I'm in new product launch event online. So I would like to share some comments or feedbacks about our new product, WPOS-QT.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me and giving us the opportunity to speak with you about your product. Just the initial feedback, working with WiseAsy has been a great experience up until this point. With the new product, the WPOS-QT, we've had great feedback from the market, and it's been a great experience working with the product itself. The product itself lends itself to many opportunities in the market, and just using the QT to show to our customers has created great interest, and it has been one of the biggest buying points when it comes to the WPOS family of products. So for the future of QT, it looks very, very positive for us. And from a banking perspective and a customer perspective, we've received great feedbacks thus far.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Thank you for your time and joining us.
Great. Well, thank you once again. And as I've said before, it's been great working with WiseAsy, and we look forward to our partnership in the future.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Due to the global pandemic, we choose to share the joy of launching our new products with global partners online. Thank you very much for your participation. We will send an e-coupon to your registered mailbox. We want you to experience WPOS-QT firsthand with an unbelievable promotion offer. The global pandemic in 2020 has made it impossible for us to travel and meet in person. But it cannot stop our common aspiration and efforts. YCC hope to work with many more banks, acquiring agencies, fintech companies, telecom operators, and software providers to create a more convenient and accessible new payment environment for users worldwide. We look forward to the early arrival of a cashless society that will definitely benefit all. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. Thank you.
From the virus, we prefer digital payments digital payment benefits everyone.
ဗိုင်းရပ်စ်ကာကွယ်ဖို့အတွက် cashless payment ကပိုတင့်တော်ပါတယ် digital payment ကိုအသုံးပြုခြင်းကကျွန်တော်တို့အတွက်အကျိုးအများကြီးဖြစ်ထွန်းစေပါတယ်
ابتعدوا عن الفيروس واستعمال خلاص الرقمي. الخلاص الرقمي في مصلحة الجميع.
Держитесь подальше от вирусов. Мы предпочитаем безналичные платежи. Цифровая оплата выгодна всем.
สังคมปลอดภัยจากไวรัสด้วยระบบการใช้จ่ายไร้เงินสด Digital Payment ตอบโจทย์ทุกประการค่ะ
Manténgase alejado del virus. Preferimos pagos sin efectivo. El pago digital beneficia a todos.
远离病毒，我们选择无现金支付、数字化支付，惠及大众。
Virusi, tunapendelea malipo ya
Preferimos pagos sin efectivo.
We prefer cashless payments.
Allah bonuslar biz kontaktsız
Cash ödeysi keysayna skiriz.
จะดีกว่าถ้าไม่ใช้เงินสด
Uzak dur. Nakit dışı ödeme tercih ediyoruz.
Nakit dışı ödeme tercih ediyoruz.
Cũng như thanh toán không dùng tiền mặt mang lại rất nhiều lợi ích cho cuộc sống.
Familie vil sikker på vejen som rigtig nej.
Digital betaling gavner alle.
Welcome back. I want to introduce Mr. Yang Li. Mr. Li has been the CEO and founder of WiseAsy since 2012. For the majority of his career, he has devoted himself to the research and practice of the China mobile commerce industry. Mr. Li is an expert in payments and commerce technologies. Previously, he has held several C-level posts in major technology companies in China. Mr. Li is joined today by Ria Blacklack, Chief Technology Officer, and Sam Feng, Chief Engineer at WiseAsy. Welcome, gentlemen, to this tech Q&A segment. I'm going to read a question from the audience right now. What are the brands of key components of the WPOS QT, such as the secure chip and CPU? Maybe you can expand on that. What brands are being used?
Okay, let me answer the question. So WPOS QT is a device that combines the fashion design and the great performance and high security. So we use the Snapdragon MSN 899, this OGLT CPU. And for the security chip, we use the Maxim 32555. So we support Android 8.1 OS and PCI 5.x certified. And also we support multi-payment method, just like we can see, we just like WQT is all-in-one payment. We support chip all the bank card payment method. And for the QR payment, we integrate a 5 mega camera and the algorithm. So for the QR recognition time, we can shorten to 200 milliseconds. So this is high performance for support LTE network and the dual SIM card capability. Also, we support a very good useful feature for the dual SIM. So
thank you, Mr. Sam.
Auto switch. Right?
Thank you, Mr. Sam. I want to read another question, this one from Sudan. This very nice product, but the cost it will be important to spend it in my country, Sudan. Comparing with the MPOS cost, is it higher or lower? Can you hear it? Did you hear? Should I repeat the question? The gentleman from Sudan would like to know if the cost will be higher or lower than a traditional MPOS system.
Yes.
We asked for the cost, right?
Yes, there was a question made, Mr. Lee and Mr. Sam, regarding the cost.
Yes. Yes, I think for W-POS-QT, it's a smart POS device. So it's all function not only for POS acceptance, but also with CPU and 4G connection. But the whole price is very reasonable. And I think compared with the full function the featured device, the traditional POS device, the price is almost the same. So I think that is a very good news for this friend from Sudan.
Very good. The cost is almost the same. That's good to know.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so the next one is
the same with the traditional one.
Thank you. The next, going back to Latin America, there are several areas that are very far away and retired from urban centers with low internet connection. Considering your experience in emerging markets and the needs of receiving remote payments, what improvements can retailers expect with this solution in remote areas with low internet connections?
Okay, so this is a good
yes,
question.
Yes, for the.
Yeah, Sam, you can.
Okay, Mr. Lee, you can go first.
Yeah. Yes, I think personally we provide some solution for the connection network. For example, we also support RT-file, the LAN adapter, to connect to the W-POS-QT. Cellular network. You can use the LAN connection. So this is alternative method. Okay, please, Liat.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add that in our vision, we know that there are some emergent markets and there is a lot of problems of network in some regions in the world. So that's why our devices are able to change automatically. For example, if I give you a very good example, we are dual SIM. So we have double SIM cards, and you can put two operators, two telecom operators, and the device can switch automatically based on the strength of the signal of which operator is good now in this area. And also we have the ability to go from the GPRS to G3G, 4G LTE. So all kinds of network and connectivities we are able to do. And also in our solutions, we really focus on something called optimization of traffic consumption. So this is our main concern. So we need to have very optimistic traffic inside our commands between, for example, our TMS and our device. So we use the lightweight protocols for communication, and this is really to solve those issues that we are very familiar with in some regions in the world.
Thank you. Thank you, Riyad. Another question. How can you very briefly explain the role of regulation in the mass deployment of QR technology, smart QR technology in Latin American emerging markets? And we only have, this might be a long question, but we only have 5 more minutes.
Okay, can you please repeat the question?
The role Yes, the role that regulations has in the interoperability needs in emerging markets for the mass deployment of QR payment products and technology.
Okay, so we know that QR codes started from Japan, just from Toyota company, just for the tracking, for example, cars and all that. And QR code now it's becoming the game changer, as we see here in this event. So the game changer also for payment. So that's why we see QR code everywhere now and introduce also the payment. So regulation and laws and compliance are now pushing QR codes to be implemented everywhere. And we see that in all countries now, there are creations of national switch, mobile national switch, just to do the interoperability of QR code payments inside the country. So we can confirm that regulation is pushing for QR code, and especially with this is before the pandemic of Corona, but Corona pandemic is pushing more and more that. So we can just say that we are pushing also for those kinds of solutions based on QR code, and we are giving a lot of solutions like mobile gateway, like our Payco mobile gateway payments based on QR code. We have also a lot of features to activate, for example, devices, and a lot of features just based on QR code, and a lot of features based on QR code, money transfer, payment, and all that inside our Wise wallet. So everything now is QR code, and we are focusing on that.
Thank you, Riyad. Thank you very much, Sam. And I think we lost Mr. Lee, but nevertheless, we'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for joining this session. We are on a schedule and we're tight. So having said that, thank you again for being here. Thank you to our audience. We're going to continue with the next segment of the launch event. We'd like to introduce our discussion session. QR codes are game changers for the finance industry. Let's find out how. Our next presenter is Anya Cheng. She's an influencer from Silicon Valley, and she will be moderating the session with Silvana Leon, the QR manager for Mercado Libre in Argentina, and our very own Mahavir Shah, a business development officer for Wiseasy. Thank you, gentlemen. See you in the next session.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Insight session of Wiseasy new product launch. And today we are going to talk about are the QR code the new changer for the fintech industry? We all know with COVID-19, people don't want to touch anything with a cash. So now people would pull out their phone and then scan the QR code and pay something. And on top of the QR code, there are lots of functions in those payment solutions. So today we got two experts here to tell us a little bit more about what they thought for the financial service and payment solution in the emerging markets. And I'm the moderator for today. My name is Anya. I'm a tech influencer in Silicon Valley. Last 15 years, I have been helping e-commerce company and also retailers on their e-commerce and also omni-channel payment options, including helping Facebook e-commerce, and I also heads up the eBay's product team for emerging markets. And before that, I was with retailers such as Target, McDonald's, and Sears. So I'm super excited to hear about how the omni-channel and payments and all of the stuff coming together. A speaker from Latin America, and Silvana Leon, who is a QR payment manager at Mercado Libre. She has a really strong experience, not just about in QR code and payment and e-commerce, but also from entrepreneurship and financial industries. Lots of great things to talk about about retailer and e-commerce. And today she's going to tell us a little bit about how she see from merchants' point of view. Silvana, now floor is yours.
Thank you, Anya. Thank you very much. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Silvana Leon, and I am business manager of QR code payments at Mercado Libre. I have been part of this great company for the past 4 years. And what is Mercado Libre? Well, it's the #1 e-commerce and fintech company of Latin America. Meli has presence in 18 countries, operations in 8, and more than 11,000 employees. Meli has developed an ecosystem where 5 business units work together, creating synergies. We have on one side the e-commerce, we also have the fintech part, Mercado Pago, logistic units, advertising, and shops online for merchants. But now we're going to deep dive in Mercado Pago, the fintech unit, as we said, and the main reason for me to be here. I believe that marketplaces and e-commerce is growing, but Mercado Pago and payments methods and payment solutions are really exploding. In the past 12 months, we processed around $36 billion and 1.2 billion transactions. At Mercado, we offer different solutions for users. Online payment plan, credits for consumers and merchants, investment solutions, prepaid cards, and also MPOS devices such as the one as new-Wiseasy. And of course, we have our wallet. Our wallet is a lifestyle app. We have 20 million payers that have been using the wallet in the past month. On our app, what you can top up your cell phone, your transport card, and pay your bill on one click. This feature actually has been growing fast in this past month, given the pandemic lockdown. And you know, do we send and request money to your friends, like P2P? And the main action, you can pay and collect money via QR code payments. Okay, so we launched this solution in 2018 in first, and then we launched it in Brazil, Mexico, Uruguay, Chile, Colombia, and Peru. I lost that. There we go. And actually, we had and still have to build a network. We have to focus on developing our own site, but we also have to develop our payers. If we don't have payers, we are not going to have any sellers. If we don't have sellers, we are not going to have. And what we did, we have approaches depending on our merchant size. We segment our merchants in 3: big sellers, mid sellers, and small sellers. The big sellers, well, this was the first step was working with these big brands that want to invest in the payment solutions and give the value for their clients. So now in Latin America, you can pay for your Whopper with QR code. And these serve as lighthouses for the mid and small merchants. Here you can see a mid merchant for us, and you can see like we call it this point, that's the one of the new-Wiseasy also show. And okay, so these segments, medium and small sellers are and I believe it's where the real revolution is happening. So now you can pay in Latin America your taxi with QR, you can pay in neighborhood store with QR, or even in a metro station to some itinerant seller there. So we are offering them the chance to digitalize their money in the simplest possible way. On the side, we have to incentive this side too, in order to change habit, right? So at first with discounts. And now what we're doing is giving this possibility to the merchants so they can offer some discounts. So now we're transitioning to a model where the incentives to change are offered by the merchants. Here you can see in the right side of the screen, actually screen of our app. We call it the discount hub. So there you can see a discount of 15% off at Walmart, 20% at McDonald's, KFC, Wendy's. So, okay, and how do we do this? You can scan your QR, you can show, for instance, you can see here some examples. This is 7-Eleven in Mexico, where you have to pay your show to have movements. Okay, you can show your QR to the merchant will scan it, or Starbucks in Argentina. So, well, to sum up, I just wanted to show some numbers of Argentina, big case. And in the last 12 months, we had 3.4 payers, that it's around 50% of active here that actually try this, and 1.2 million sellers that dare to try also, collecting their money via. And now we believe, and we the forefront of the fintech revolution at Mercado at Latin America, we also know that this is just getting started. So thank you.
Thanks, Silvana. This is amazing. So I'm going to introduce our speaker, Mahavir. Mahavir has 15 years more in the fintech solutions. And from both the telco industry to now Wiseasy, he's seen the growth and transformation in those industries. And so today, he's going to tell us a little bit more about how he sees the payment options are changing and where the industry going and how we'll do the best to select the payment solutions. Mahavir, I hand it to you to introduce yourself a bit and then walk us through the presentation.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you, everyone. First of all, good morning to everyone. And this is Mahavir. I am the Chief Business Development Officer, and I represent the Wiseasy Group. And today we all are here on the launch of our new product called P3QT, as well as to discuss on the QR, the next mobile payment game changer. So let me take you through some of the presentation which I have created to understand how the global market is reacting towards the QR payment. Just to give you an idea that mobile payments in China has been very, very successful. If we look at the stats, somewhere around about 2020 in the Q4, we're looking at 790 million people using the QR payment or the digital mobile payments. According to the data in China, 69.6% of the users use mobile payments every day. And this is really surprising because 19.7% of the mobile payment users, they use twice a week. So that is a huge progress. If someone has visited China 15 years back, you must have seen that there was a lot of cash payments involved. And if you look at the last 15 years, there has been a huge transformation right from cash to the mobile payment channels. Apart from that, if we really look at the China market, China, I'm giving you an example because they are one of the leaders when it comes to the mobile payment ecosystem. QR code payments, parking lot, senseless payments, NFC payments, paying with face, which is also the new payment method, which has come down in China, especially face payments. These are some of the payment methods which are widely being used in China as of today. And QR payments, it actually contributes to somewhere about 78.4%. Some of the use cases where Wiseasy has contributed in this growth in China has been with Huawei, where Huawei has been using the QR not only on the payment side, but also on the inventory management side and also on the stocking side. We also have some of our customers in China who have been using some of our solutions like WPOS Mini on the catering side. We have customers on the fruit retail side. We have parking and hotel industry, which is also very big now, and even on the sports side. One of the use cases in the hotel industry is that we have some hotels where they are also issuing the NFC keys for the door lock using the same point of sale terminals, and also accepting QR payments on the same POS terminals, and also the bank card payments. So basically, all in all the payment methodologies are all adopted onto one smart POS device. That's where Wiseasy comes into picture. Now, if we really look at some of the growth in the emerging markets, where we see Latin America, huge potential. If we look at Africa, huge potential. As per the study of which is in 2020 by MasterCard, they say that in Latin America, the bank card or the bank account penetration stands at around about 55%. And credit card penetration is just around about 19%, as compared to the smartphone penetration, which is around about 70%. So there is an immense potential in terms of the mobile payments. When I say mobile payments, of course, it is more on the QR side as well as on the NFC side. And that is where we see that there is an new emerging startups as well as new service providers which have come out to adopt this kind of technologies in Latin America. If we talk about Africa, again, yes, 34% of the population has the bank accounts. As we all know that the bank penetration is pretty less in Africa, and 44% have the mobile phones. out of which 50% are all smartphones. So, there has been a huge adoption, transformation, especially from the cash to the digital payments. If we look at one of the very big example of M-Pesa, which has transformed, immensely in the last, 7 to 8 years. One of very big use case which we created in Africa was with the Petrom, which is one of the gas or the petroleum industry, which has the gas retail outlets everywhere in Morocco. And in fact, QR has been one of the payments, even for the gas, which has been adopted over there. And again, WiseEasy products have been used in the Moroccan market. Of course, WiseEasy has already penetrated and has its roots within the Latin America market now, with some of our very known customers, especially with Gartec in Brazil, Clip in Mexico, Senior Pago in Mexico. We have Scantec in Uruguay. We have Caropagos in Venezuela. Brazil has been one of our very big marketplace where we have many customers, right from acquirers and banks who are using some of our products. If we look at some of the videos also, what we have, which I won't be able to show it right now, but it's especially for the people once they receive the presentation, they can actually have a look at some of the videos on YouTube. If we look at the transitions to the new, especially from WiseEasy, what exactly WiseEasy does? WiseEasy creates smart Android POS terminals. That is one of the strengths of WiseEasy. But with that smart terminals, what they have done is they have started adopting the mobile payment facilities onto the device and try to create a much smarter and cost-effective terminals for the market. Because we all know that merchant acquiring or merchant management is a very expensive affair. And with now the competition rising, with MDRs going down, almost going to zero, with new, service providers coming up into the market, lot of players, they want to make sure that their services are available on the same terminal, and that's where WiseEasy comes into picture. Apart from that, what we have also done is we've created a very smart terminal management system. There were times where you have a specific terminal management system to manage a particular specific terminal vendor. But what we have done with WiseEasy is we have created a unified terminal management system. Means today we are in a position to not only manage the WiseEasy terminals, but we can manage any terminals which are in the market, whether they are traditional terminals or they are the smart terminals, that is the next gen. And not only that, what we have also done is that we have created key injection within the terminal management system itself. There were times where to initiate a particular POS or get a merchant on board was a very lengthy process, which we have actually cut down by bringing a very smart cloud-based terminal management system. And apart from that, yes, we are also having our own payment solution suite. So right from the acquiring switch or merchant aggregation solution to wallet solutions, to voucher top-up solutions, to KYC solutions, we have it all as of now today. So we actually are one-stop shop when it comes to anything on payments. That is what we as WiseEasy are doing. And finally, the most important part is the application. So today we are very happy to say that, yes, we have a very strong payment application which is completely compliant with most of the payment networks, whether it's bank card payment networks, whether it's a QR payments, whether it's Alipay, VPay, or you have closed loop payments within your country. We can integrate all of them onto the single application. So basically you have one application which can access to any kind of payments which are non-cash based within the country using one particular smart POS, and that's where WiseEasy comes into picture. Now, this is where the WiseEasy strength is. This is our entire suite of product offerings from our side. Why WiseEasy? There is a lot of questions. There are a lot of smart Android POS vendors and providers in the market. But what makes us very unique is, of course, we are partners of Qualcomm. So we use only Qualcomm chipset. Apart from that, we are also partners of Maxine, which is a security chip. That is what makes our product very secure. We have, of course, all the certification coverages on our terminals. And this is something very interesting. over the period of time, what we understood is that a lot of people want to adopt to the smart POS because they actually are wanting to encourage the QR payments or the mobile payments. But to do that, there are still a lot of customers who have the traditional bank channel payment mechanism. So to facilitate that, what we have done is we created a one bundle where we give a smart POS or a smart Android POS, which has the means of accessing any payment channels, as well as we also give an application on top, which can be integrated to any payment methods, whether it's QR or NFC or the credit debit cards or the honors cards or anything from the bank. So, and also we can integrate to the loyalty and reward systems. So basically one application which can be, addressing all different parts. So that's what it is. And of course, we have many other solutions, right, from KYCs and, Wise wallets and everything. But overall, the idea is that what Wiseasy wants to do is today they want to bring, the digital payments into this industry. And we see Latin market as one of the booming markets, to adopt to the mobile payment, mechanism. And QR is going to be one of the main contributor in that. So yeah, that's all about from me and myself. Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thanks, Mahavir. I'm fascinating. I'm like kids in a candy store. I was like, that's cool. I want that. That's great. Since this time is about launching the product into the Latin market, right? So, and also Africa, emerging markets. And since you oversee so many countries on their payment solution and talking to different clients, what do you see difference between different region or different country or between like the Latin America and the rest of other regions?
Well, what I have seen is, let me start with Asia. So, Asia market is where there has been a lot of, players who are ready to adopt new use cases using an Android Smart POS. And we have seen use cases which are right from casino on the loyalty and rewards, right from hotels and even the restaurants. When we shift ourselves from the Asia to the African market, we see that biometric plays a very important role in Africa. As we all know that, Africa has a very small penetration of bank or the banking account. And security is one of the prime importance in Africa. And there are a lot of microfinance companies or SACCOs, and that's where biometric comes into picture. So we have seen that there is a mix of, biometrics along with QR payment as one-step authentication, or biometrics and the bank card payment. So that is what we are seeing in Africa. When we shift ourselves to Latin America, what we have seen is that, yes, there is a huge spurge in the market when it comes to QR, but still there is a lot of legacy payment mechanism, right from your bank card payments to the closed loop card payments, which has still been traditionally used. And people are still more open on, some countries are more open on the cash payments, and some countries are still adopting to the QR payments. So what we have tried to do is that over there, we see that customers are always looking for a very cost-effective solution, because they cannot afford to have expensive, merchant acquiring terminals, to give them smart technology. So these are some of the variations which we have seen over the period of time. Yes.
First of all, I think so. It reminds me a lot of my time whereas at retailers like McDonald's and Sears and Target. And those times and doing the retailer, one of the challenges was to how do I educating the customers, say this is our new way, we got and the different payment solution, while the other one was sometimes there are so many different outlet, different stores, right? So the training of the operation for the store person are also quite difficult. So I want to hear both of you where you see on those two challenges, how did you educating your operation and also customers, and what were the key challenges, how did you overcome it?
Thank you.
Okay,
I think so.
I'll start if you want.
No, carry on, Silvana. No problems.
I believe that this is the main challenge, like the operation and actually changing habit. We are not only changing habit on our payer side, you're also changing the habit for the whole crew, the whole system, So I think it's a great, super challenge, but I believe that this is going to work if we have all the incentive correct, right? The merchant sees a value prop on the solution. The payer sees the payer also a solution here, a value prop here, and of course you have to. We say it in Portuguese, atrapa su operação. Você não tem ones that don't have to change and make a mess on the actual operation. Because if you do that, if you slow down the queue, you're going to have a problem, right?
Yeah, so basically from my side, there are two parts to it. One is the customer side and one is the merchant side. Now, if you look at the customer side, majority of the customers, especially in Asia, Latin America, they are all smartphone users. So for them to scan a QR is very simple. But one of the biggest challenge which we saw even in India, I'm just sharing some of my experience in India, is 3 to 4 years back. That's exactly what it was. The current situation is in the Latin American market. They used to just create a sticker of a QR, and then there would be a shop owner who would be running from here and there, and then he doesn't know when the person has made the payment. So because of that, what we created is a product called WiseLink, which is a QR soundbox. And what we did is that whenever there is anyone who wants to make a payment, on the payment acceptance, the soundbox will play the sound, that, oh, $10 has been paid. So, with that, the education was very simple, because majority of the merchants, they are used to sound, they're not very used to or tech savvy, especially the labor boys who are sitting in the shop to just go and verify and validate whether the amount has been received or not. So that is one of the things which happened in India. And I will be very honest to say that, Paytm, which used to have 100,000 merchants 3 years back or 4 years back, today has got more than 3.8 million merchants.
Wow.
So that the soundbox has played a major role for them when it is on the QR code payment acceptance. There is no bank card acceptance, it's just pure QR code. But that kind of education, showing the videos, the advertisements, making it very easy and user friendly, because the merchant does not need to carry a mobile phone. And that is something which we have seen. And we believe that can be a game changer in many markets.
Great. Thank you so much. And the other thing I see was coming from my experience at e-commerce with eBay and Facebook, and also when I was time at Target, we care a lot of online, offline, right? We want the offline information also combined with some user experience. So we know that this online experience of the data can actually match to the offline user, and it wasn't always easy. So can you tell us a little bit more about this online, offline user search 360-degree interface, and how does this payment solution can play part of the role at?
Okay, so okay, I'll start on that. So basically, as we all know, that there are two kinds of payments, that is online payments and offline payments. And online payments are basically for the e-commerce websites where you have the integrations with the payment processor and the acceptance of card not present scenario. And when you talk about offline, it is basically a bank card present scenario where you actually are going through an offline merchant network channel. One of the key part which we have seen is that in the traditional days, there was a very big differentiation between online and offline, because the offline used to have traditional point of sale terminals and a point of sale network, which was predominantly dominated by the bank card payments. And when you used to have the online, it used to be again card payments, but it was more related to, the authentication on the payment gateway side. But with the new mobile payment technology coming now, if you really look at QR payments or the mobile payments channels on the NFC side, they have all started being accepted on a lot of checkout bases also. Like if you even go into some of the e-commerce sites, you also have a payment mechanism by paying by a wallet or paying by the QR. So there are a lot of mechanisms which have started now. So, what we are seeing is that the bridge between the online and offline has, which was widened once time, has actually become shorter now. And in terms of the online users, there is of course a big surge in the online payment, especially during this COVID times also, because there are a lot of e-commerce and activities which are happening on online payment side. But offline also, with the new smart devices coming up, the acceptance have even grown on a higher side. Yeah.
Cool, wonderful, thank you.
I believe that so, and that this bridge, yes, I believe that this bridge, online and offline, is really happening, right? It's the revolution when the lines start to blur, right? The different sides to blur, but and I believe, like for instance, with Mercado, we had our advantage was that our user was they already use e-commerce, right? So they were a little bit more offline, more online. So when you try to put this merchant, that this payer, this consumer that also pays and uses the offline platform, it was easier for that user, right, to make bridge and this connection with the online, offline, and then you have QR code payments.
Cool, thank you. And since today we also one of our focus today to talk about is about financial institutions, right? And remember my time at Target, where we all have our bank pay product, we have a credit card and debit card, and also I know Silvana has some experience in a financial institution before. Can you tell us a little bit more about the QR code application and also some payment solutions use case in the financial institutions?
Should I start? Well, I believe fintech regulation on each country changes a lot, and it's actually just getting started. Like 2 years ago, when we launched QR here in Argentina, there was no regulation for us. I mean, the regulations start to be building as we grow, so I think it's really different here in Argentina than it is in Brazil or it is in Mexico, right? Each country have a different regulation, so it's a really big challenge, that we have to help the regulators of each country to have a good regulation. If you have a bad regulation, as we know, you can play hard for this innovative revolution, just end it with it, right? So I think the fintech regulation, it's really important. It's a matter that we have to help to shape. And also, let me say, the tax regulation, because here in Latin America, that's a really big thing. And I think we have also to look up for this to promote these digital payments in these countries.
Yeah, so from my side, I can say that, QR payment, basically there are two parts. One is a closed loop QR payment and one is an open loop QR payment. So the difference is very simple. Like you have the wallet services. What all things can you link in a wallet? You can have top-up payments, bill payments, mobile money, cash in, cash out. You can have international remittance. You can have parking tickets. You can have bus tickets. You can have sports tickets, cinema tickets. Anything in this world which is a payment service can be linked to a QR. And if it is within a closed loop market, that's where the QR is working, where a lot of service providers have started providing QR as a payment method, And when we talk about open loop payment, and that's where the interoperability comes into picture. One of the biggest example, which I can proudly say, is that like Bharat, for example, India. So India, they have created a Bharat QR. That is an initiative by the government of India, where they have linked all the government payment services on the single QR, which has a zero MDR. It means that today, if I can scan a QR payment, and I can go and probably go for a bus ticketing payment, I can even go for any government service payments absolutely on that QR, which is also integrated to the payment switch of the country. Similarly, Singapore launched the Singapore QR. Similarly, a lot of countries are now coming up and creating their own country QR, which will be linked to the financial institutes as well as the government bodies. So I believe that, yes, there are a lot of use cases, but one of the predominant use case, which is where the QR has been used, is especially on the e-commerce payments or the delivery on-site delivery payments, There is restaurant payments or restaurant bill payments, which are also being there, as well as the cinema tickets and the sports and all the different kind of ticketings, bus ticketings and all. But what we are now seeing is that a new method where interoperability will come into picture, where everything will be linked on a common platform and a single QR or different dynamic QRs will be presented for making different use case payments within the country itself. Yeah.
Cool. And since now,
exactly.
last few months,
Argentina, we are doing, the central bank is doing that. It's regulating and doing just QR for all the different wallets that you have here in the country. Yep. And Brazil is also trying to explore that.
That's
with the PIX solution, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Wonderful. In last few months has been quite different, right? There's with COVID-19, people are changing with a lot of different new behavior and new normal, and people don't want to pay cash. Can you tell us a little bit about in the last 6-9 months, what do you see the key difference change on the consumer and merchant trend related to the payment stuff?
Well, for my side, I visited a lot of places before the COVID. I was very, lucky enough. So I went down to Europe, where I saw that, you go to a retail store and then you have a point of sale terminals and majority of acceptance of bank cards on the NFC or the chip and pin. Okay. And then when I went down to the Middle East, I again saw that, yes, bank card presentation is much more used and widely used. But as soon as the COVID came into picture, we have seen that a lot of banks have taken an initiative and converted into a QR. And that is where we see that we have got so many customers calling us and banks calling us because most of the players already have their wallet services. And until now, they used to use smartphone as one of the mechanism of, payment acceptance with the wallet cards and, the bank cards linked to the wallet, and then QR being one of the payment sphere. But that was on the customer front, but not on the merchant front. And that's where we realized that this QR soundbox has become a big, has been a big acceptance, and it has been a game mover altogether. Because I'll just give you an example of one of the so-called a known bank in Middle East. They had a wallet system, but it was not being accepted widely. And once this COVID came into picture, they wanted to have something at the merchant end which was purely contactless, so that even the merchant doesn't touch his own mobile phone. And that is where the sound came into picture, and the QR soundbox has actually killed the market. So we have seen technologies of QR soundbox or terminals on QR and NFC being highly accepted, which was not we never thought that this kind of a shift would come down into the market very aggressively, and we are seeing that, yes, people have started accepting it, and people don't want to touch anyone. People don't even want to give their cards or even put the pin on the keypad. They don't want to touch anything. And that's what this thing has come. And another thing which we have seen in China is the face payments. And we have seen that some of the countries in Europe have also started initiating with the face payments, on the 3D face payments. Yeah. So these are some of the shift which we have seen in the market now. Yeah.
Definitely. And it is what I can see, it's that it's really promoting the merchants, because they believe this is safe, and it has a great acceptance on the payer side too, as you said, because you're touching just your phone, right? And you're always with you're not giving your card away. Here in Latin America, we still have tap and sign, so your card will go somewhere else, and then they'll just bring it. With this solution, you just touch what it's yours, and you don't show it no one else, right? So and even against cash, not only credit cards, with cash, like you don't have to touch those paper, right? And so this was really it's really growing here, and the acceptance in Latin America, I can see it, and the QR is the solution for everything, not just payment. Like it's really good. It's something great to see.
Thank you. And since today is the WiseAsy launching the product in emerging markets, and I'm curious about, for both of you oversee so many countries, right? Silvana oversees 7 countries in Latin America. Javier was oversee all of the emerging markets in Latin America and also Africa and based in India. Curious about where do you see the difference between either country or the region, how those things, the difference between the merchants landscape and also their customer behaviors?
Yeah. So, going through some of the markets like Africa markets, of course, the cash is dominating, in this market a lot. There is very less penetration of the banking accounts. But one of the biggest scenario which we have seen is the microfinance. Africa, any country you go, microfinance plays a very important role. But one of the biggest differentiator which we have seen in the microfinance is there are not many cards in the market. So there is not much credit debit cards. So people are more adopting towards mobile payments, especially on the QR and NFC, along with biometrics. And that is what has started being accepted. Of course, in Africa, again, when you go to north part of Africa, the bank card penetration is good. So again, they would like to have the entire smart POS with the biometrics. So biometric plays a very important role in Africa. But when we come down to the European market, there is still the acceptance of card, whether it's NFC or whether it's chip and pin. But when we go down to Asia, I think so there has been a lot of innovation, with QR coming up, with face recognition coming up. We are also seeing now that there are markets where even in Asia there is QR and biometrics being added up on the security part. So OTP was there, but even OTP is going out, and that biometric authentication is coming up. So there has been a lot of innovation in terms of very matured innovations in the Asian market acceptance. And of course, Latin America, Silvana is, of course, there as an expert. So I'll leave that Latin American market to her then.
Javier, I believe that it's pretty similar to some countries, right? But the bank penetration also here in Latin America, it's really poor. It actually is a little bit in some countries such as Chile, but actually Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, the penetration of the bank card, it's really, really low, but everyone has a smartphone, right? So that's where the revolution it exists. And actually in Latin America, what the people that has a credit card, and they don't like bank very much. Like, you don't like it. Even if you have a card, you don't like it. You need innovation. So I think that's the great moment and place for us to actually contribute to a great value here in these financial solutions and educate, right? We have an opportunity to actually transmit and trust, like the people and consumers trust us and we have Javier said we're trying to these security things, like you can have your digital open, your digital to open your cell phone or to pay, and you don't go around with your card. You have it in your cell phone. You have it safe, right? So I think we have a great opportunity to actually make a change and contribute to this optimization when you have your money digitalized. That's safe and cheap. Plus money, and you can, I don't know, we have a situation of investing. Not many people here in Latin America actually know how to invest their money. So we are actually offering them also that. So you can collect your money digitally and also invest it. So I think that's a huge thing, and I hope we still do this, right, and make it good.
Great. And I from my time working in those emerging markets, and I noticed that the QR, today the topic is about QR code. And we try to do a lot of different things with the QR code in the store for not just payment, but also for different type of customer loyalty program, events, and lots of different kind of use case. So I'm wondering if you can share some stories about how companies, including digital bank, including financial institutions, and how would you guys were using QR code as one of the tools for growing the business?
So probably I'll give you an example of one of the company in logistics. So there used to be a time, especially at the seaport for the logistics, they used to manually try, maintaining and managing the containers. And I think so with the new technology of QR, and especially with the, smart POS terminals, they have started adopting QR into the logistics and containers in terms of management of that. So that is a very smart use case, which we saw in Western Africa. That is where it was surprising for me. And one of the very big use case which came in picture was, from Israel for the QR payments in taxis. So just imagine that someone goes into a taxi, does not carry any cash, does not carry any cards, and just makes a QR payment. I think so that is a fantastic use case, especially for the industry. And it has been very successful. Yeah.
I love the taxi example. Like, I think that's a great revolution. Like, you can pay with your cell phone on the taxi. I think that's great. But I also want to share, for instance, it's a great deal with cash collections. For example, you have, I don't know, Coca-Cola company that has to distribute the Coca-Cola to different stores, and in each store, the owner of the store has to pay the distributor manager with cash. So what we're doing now, this old system, this whole distribution network, it's paid with QR, right? Because the owner of the store collects their money with QR, so that money is already digitalized. This owner pays to the truck, the logistic one that's distributing the money, and this distributor is sending the money to Coca-Cola. Probably has a lot of intermediaries in the middle, but the thing is that the whole distribution system, it's digital, so it's actually more efficient, right? But what I really like is when I see a small merchant with only, I don't know, selling through a window something, and you say, I accept credit card and debit card. I think that's mind-blowing.
Wonderful. I think I learned so much today and so many wonderful things. And we know, like, with COVID-19 changing the world, people don't want to use cash, and there's also now QR code and so many other options for people to keep them secure and safe and private, as well as that helping the world being more healthy altogether. So with that, I open the questions to the floor for anyone to have any other questions for the speakers.
In this very lively discussion, very important and interesting discussion.
I hope the presentation and everything was good, and maybe you also enjoyed my session.
Of course, we always enjoy what you have to contribute and what you have to say, Javier. I think Mr. Lee and Silvana are joining the discussion session. In the meantime, while we get settled, please put your questions in the chat, please. And I have to congratulate you, Javier. This has been a great event and a great effort on WiseAsy part.
All because of you, Anna. All because of you.
No.
Slow, but there are a lot of things in the basket.
Hi, Silvana.
How are you?
Oh, I'm very, very, very excited about all the topics that you raised in your amazing presentation. Are we waiting for Mr. Lee?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you're here, Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Okay, so we're all in one QT.
Thank you.
I love that phrase. I really love it. I think the device not only looks good, but like you said, it can do a lot of things that encompasses a lot of technologies. Well, actually, talking about technologies, I want to open referring to the fact that the device works on NFC and different technologies. why do you assume that QR will overcome other available technologies like NFC, for example? Or is the what is important is the actual penetration of the QR service rather, or the payment or the payment method rather than the actual technology that is being used to massify payments? You feel that QR will win, so to speak. What do you think?
I think the QR is the future of the payment. One of the reason is I think for the bank card payment system is based on the last generation industry. I think the QR is based on the online payment industry. So for the QR payment, it's lower cost and it can encourage more of the population. And also it's more safe for the online payment. And furthermore, the QR payment, they can combine more and more value-added service. And all the data will collect by the payment industry and the financial institutes. So based on that data, they can provide based on customized service for more customized service, financial service for every consumer. So it's not only the two, not only the payment method change. I think that will cause the whole industry change.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. I'm going to read a question from the audience now. Perhaps everybody can provide us their feedback. This is what is on the chat. I totally agree that QR code is the trend, but in Latin America, card payments are still dominating the market. What do you think we should do to make the customers use more or use more often the QR technology payment? What efforts have you made to tailor to this specific market in Latin America, besides this wonderful launch event?
So maybe, do you want me to answer on this? Okay.
Sure.
So guys, QR is just a payment method. Whether it's a credit card or a debit card, you can still link it with a QR. One of the most important thing where I see is that the regulations have to open out and come out with new infrastructure on the interoperability of QR. Because there are various service providers, there are various QRs, and there are various, card payments also available in the market. Unless and until there is not a single infrastructure which is interoperable, as well as linking of bank cards with QR facilities are provided by the service provider, I think so such a move will actually encourage more of QR payments, because QR is a part of card not present. And that is where we see that, QR can be a game changer, but there is a lot of, push required from the regulations themselves.
Thank you. Thank you, Mahavir. This is a question for Silvana from Mercado Libre. What is your company's position about integrating to third-party networks or having access to merchants through integrators and interoperability?
Okay, so it's a little bit as Mahavir said, right? I believe that interoperability is part of the, when you try to speak about QR, it always comes this word into the game. And I believe it's part of the regulation, right? It's a case by case depending on each country. Our main ones, just such as Argentina or Brazil, for instance, we are working side by side with the regulators and other fintechs and other financial institutions to design how is it going to work, this interoperability, right? What does it mean? In each country, it means a different thing. In Brazil, for instance, the regulators are developing this solution that it's called PIX, P-I-X, and it's I don't know, it's something similar to debit card, but it's a way to pay via QR code, and you're paying with that. So it's part of this interoperability. It's a way of interoperability. And in Argentina, it's been discussed another thing. Probably it's going to take a little bit of PIX too, but the central bank here in Argentina is what it did is a QR, a standard QR code. So for instance, if you go to one merchant, such as YPF, you can scan with that QR, that it's one for all, and each player has to have the ability to read that QR. With that QR, you can scan with for Todo Pago, Mercado Pago, or the YPF application. So it's a country by country, right? But we're open for that. It's part of the game.
So, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Lee. Do you want to add to that?
No.
Okay. Well, okay. So, Silvana, during your presentation, you kept referring to the use of QR technology as a revolution. You used that to describe the technology a few times.
Yes.
Despite there are some regulatory issues still that need to be resolved, why do you call it a revolution, and what is the time frame that you feel that the industry needs in order to really, really become a revolution?
Okay, so I believe the revolution for me is, I think I also use a lot of the small merchants, right? That are my favorite ones. Those merchants here in Latin America it's really difficult for those merchants to actually accept and collect money with credit card, debit card, or digital money, right? So we have in Latin America a lot of cash. 70% of the payments are in cash. As we know, that's really inefficient, right? Like the cost of having the money with you, safety, and now, of course, health with all the COVID situation that makes us aware of what we're doing, like touching that money, that paper, and giving to another one. That's a circle of not health. And for me, that the merchant can actually collect money with, for instance, the MPOS of YCCs or RMPOS or QR, for me, that's the revolution, that really small merchants in Latin America can collect money with credit. That's a thing that it help them with sales, right? And not everyone have cash in their money in their pockets to pay in that moment. You have the credit card, and I believe that's part. And what it helps is this digitalization of the market. We work together with credit cards, of course, on the payer side, but you can also have money. That money that you are collecting, it's going to stay in your wallet, and you can pay with that money, that digital money, to another merchant. So you start to digitalize all this cash thing in Argentina. 70% of the payments in Latin America are in cash. It changes a little bit by country, but that's the main rule, right? Cash. So to give an alternative to cash, I believe that's a revolution here in Argentina, in Latin America. Sorry.
Yes, I'm very agree with Silvana. So I think the QR code in the technology is a real revolution. I think in this world, 1.7 billion people population, they are underbanked. It's just like Silvana she said. Many people in Latin America, they not open account, they have no bank cards, but they have mobile phone. And 2/3 of all this population underbanked, they have mobile phone, and many of them have smartphone. So the QR code payment is one of very good technology for the inclusive finance. They just download the application for mobile wallet. They deposit money in this mobile wallet. They just like open account in a bank. So we can use this technology to help a lot of poor people. If they open a bank account, they have a mobile wallet, they can get more and more financial service. That can make a lot of things possible for these people.
Exactly. They are underserved by this financial institution or the ones that we have, right? Yeah, exactly.
So this is a question for you again, Mr. Lee. It says, I'm very interested in the use cases shared by you and KYC and the KYC function of your smart devices. I noticed that your company is positioning it as a digital banking and payment builder. But can you please share and expand on how your products can be used within the banking scenario?
Yes, I think today we are entering the area of the bank 3.0 because now the bank they just acquiring more and more people open account not by provide a card, they buy mobile wallet to open account. But if they have the wallet, how they can deposit money? When they open account, they need to do the eKYC. So they use our smart POS terminal to collect the data, such as to read the ID card and to verify their fingerprints, and also take photos. They can do the electronic signature on the documents. So we help the people, the open account to by eKYC rule. So before, when they open account, they have to go to the branch, to the counter of the banks. Now we just use the smart POS to move the bank counter to near them, just in their convenience shop near to their home. So we call this a digital banking teller system. So they are easily to deposit money, open accounts. So their mobile wallet can be used in everywhere. And also we provide QR code payment solutions. So we call these 3 steps: download mobile wallet to open account for consumer, build up the networks by digital banking counter, use the smart POS. So you can have a very low cost to a whole national-wide coverage branches, not open bank branches, but use this digital branches. They just deployed one smart POS with many smart applications in convenience store or in the mobile phone shop. And the third step is to have build up a QR page environment. Because if their mobile wallet can be used in everywhere, they have many scenarios can use mobile wallets, so they can deposit more money in this wallet and more data collect for the national institute.
Yeah, so as Mr. Lian was saying that KYC is a very important area which especially in Asia and Africa, as well as now picking up in Middle East, which we are eyeing for.
Teller system,
and we
and
provide
also
complete
with QR payment solutions. So we use all these technology, including hardware, software, cloud-based technology, to help the banks to enter the digital banking area.
Thank you, Mahavir, and thank you, Mr. Lee. I'm going to read a comment from an attendee from Europe, and perhaps Silvana, you can compare the European experience to the Latin American and maybe complement this gentleman's comment. He says, QR payments that are integrated in the point of sale systems or in the standard infrastructure of the merchant will be the stayers, meaning they will win. In Europe, card payments are dominant because they are led by banks. So it is merchants that are responsible to initiate and support the QR payments in order to be less dependent on banks. Do you see the same scenario repeat itself in Latin America?
No, I mean, what is happening in Europe for me is that you have the NFC solution, and all the infrastructure of the POS terminals actually have this solution and accept this solution. And of course, the unbank, I believe that there are few that are not the same as in Latin America. So you have a lot of credit cards and a lot of debit cards, and it's, I don't know, on my understanding, it's easier to have a bank there and to pay with credit card and debit card, right? So the revolution is it isn't that needed there, but I believe that we have also opportunity with QR, because I don't know, Apple Pay try it, Samsung Pay try it. So you have, as Mr. Lee said, you have your mobile phone always on your hand, and I believe that we have an opportunity to develop there also, but you don't have that much, that you don't have the need as you have it here in Latin America. But there's an opportunity that I believe that they could we could develop there, or together. But I don't know how Mr. Leo Mahavir sees it, but see this thing. But I think this is a start. I don't believe that the merchant side is going to develop that. I believe that it's going to be some player that can see this opportunity there. I think it's just have to have the right incentive to do it.
Yeah, so basically in Europe, there are a lot of banks who have also started creating wallets now, and they are allowing the facility of linking the bank cards to their wallet. And that is where they are giving the QR as one of the payment mechanism. One of the reason of doing that is that they are also boosting, or they are pushing loyalty and rewards in terms of customer stickiness. And that is where the QR comes into picture. Apart from that, we have also seen that there are individual payment wallets like from Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, WeChat Pay, Alipay. Many more payment networks are coming into the different parts of Europe. Especially Alipay and WeChat Pay has already penetrated a lot of places in Europe, or a lot of countries in Europe. And that is also giving you the facility of a closed loop wallet QR, as well as linking your bank cards with the QR. So basically QR becomes your essential payment method. That is what is happening right now.
Thank you, Mahavir and Silvana. Given that we have a very few minutes left, do you have some final comments about how QR will impact the underbanked and the mass adoption of QR payments in Latin America and in other regions? And perhaps you can provide some last comments before we close this Q&A session.
So I will take care. So I'll probably give up some examples of Asia and Africa. So I believe that I come from India. So India is one of the region where Paytm, which is a very niche player in the market, has actually penetrated the Indian market with the QR payments. There was a time where the merchants were only known for the bank card merchants. But today we see that in India, a lot of other service providers have also come up and stepped up for the QR, penetration in the market. So yes, there is a huge and heavy push on the QR. And along with that, there are a lot of new startups which are coming with innovative ideas, which are linking the QR for different service and use case scenarios. So yes, in Asia, we see QR as penetrating big time. And even in Africa, we have seen that some of the countries, I don't know if you are aware of M-Pesa, which is already there in Kenya. One of the leaders which started a mobile wallet in 2007 with USSD, payment services when Mr. Michael Joseph was there. And now what has happened is that they have started pushing a lot on the QR as well as on the NFC, because the majority of the service were on the traditional communication networks, which was USSD and SMS, which they are trying to change the landscape and trying to push it on the QR and NFC. They are still not pushing on the card payment part because they are still more on the closed loop part. And in Africa, again, we see that, M-Pesa again is dominating, with MTN Money also coming up and Airtel Money, which is coming up. So all these telecom operators are also trying to innovate things and are trying to change the payment communications from the USSD or SMS to the QR. So that is where we are seeing a major spurge in the market in terms of acceptance of QR. For Latin America, I'll leave it on Silvana.
Thank you, Javier. Well, we actually we see and learn a lot from the China and India experience, right? They started earlier, and we are learning from them. So a lot of things that they are doing there in Asia that works, we'll actually try to make it work here in Latin America too. I believe we have done a lot of things, but we still have a lot of work to do to actually, this revolution that started a couple of years ago to actually penetrate the market in and add some value to either our merchants and our payers, and to have a better payment solution, more innovative and actually safer and healthy solution. So that's on my end. I believe that we are just starting and we have a lot of things to do, given, such as one of the audience said, regulation, interoperability. We have to make this work, and it's going to be all working together. And so that's it.
I don't know if Mr. Lee is still listening in, but if you would like to give a final thought, Mr. Lee.
Oh, thank you. I think today we learned a lot about from the Mercado Pago. They have a mini practice, and I think for the QR code really is the revolution direction, and we want to just share more of our technology, help our partners. We work together to push this cashless payment to give more convenient payment service for all the consumers. And thank you for all of your help. And I think we can work together to towards a digital banking area.
I agree. I also want to thank Mr. Lee, Majavier, Silvana, the attendees for this fantastic event. I have learned so much. I very see the future of cashless right in our faces. And as Silvana says, there's a revolution coming up, and we all have to put our 5 cents. Again, Mr. Lee, and for the YZC executives present here today, thank you very much for this launch. Congratulations on the QR code. It's very cute, very, very cute. And more than that, it will do a lot of good. It will do a lot of good to the development of emerging markets. I want to invite the attendees to go now and visit the YZC stand, download all the documents, come back and visit us all this week and probably next week. All the information you saw here, all the videos and all the content will be available on demand. You will be able to watch it whenever you want, and you can invite colleagues that you see fit to come and take a look at what YZC is doing and what Mercado Libre is doing as well, and how they are projecting QR code technology being a game changer for the finance industry. I invite you to remain with us for the next, like I said, few hours. We're going to have the YZC executives, and hopefully Silvana will be available too. And being said that, I only have to thank again for all attendees today, and one last congratulations to the YZC all-in-one QT. Have a nice afternoon.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias a todos. Gracias a todos por estar aquí. Nos vemos pronto.
Be cute. Thank
Be
you.
cute. Hasta luego, señor Lee. Tienes que aprender español, señor Lee.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.